Hello, world, and welcome to Pardon the Politics Podcast, Season 2, Episode 9. I am your co-host, Jeezy, along with my brother and my partner in politics, Manny. My brother, what's going on?
Blessed and highly favored.
Hey, man. Hey, I will say this, man. You made a little transition this week, man. So congratulations to the Manny family. For a little bit of transition that has happened, a blessing that's come about in their lives. So
look, glory be to God.
Yes, sir.
Because if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, where would I be? Where would I be? Man, but yeah, life is a blessing, man. No matter what you're going through and what you're facing, there's always something positive to look forward to. And at the end of the day, God has gotten me through 100% of my bad days. So I'm always going to roll with the man with that type of winning percentage.
Hey, man, you got to roll with the hot hand, brother. Right. Roll with the hot hand. Yeah, man, I'm glad. I'm glad that everything has been going good for you, man. I'm glad that we're here doing another episode. So
Absolutely.
Welcome to our listeners. We're so glad that you've tuned in for another episode here at Pardon the Politics. And hey, we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. So
stuff's getting wild, man.
Man, at what point in all of this will we come up here and have an episode that will not top the last topic that we talked about in the previous episode?
Oh no, I'll holler at you in 2029.
Bro,
maybe.
This ride just keeps getting higher and higher, bro.
Bro. Who sang the song? It's Creed. Can you take me higher?
Yep. It's getting crazy, man. So for our topic today, I'm sure that you all are pretty aware of the showdown at the Oval Office that happened this past week. On February the 28th, there was a highly contentious meeting that took place in the Oval Office between our president, Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance. We had a J.D. Vance sighting, which we don't get many of those. So
we don't.
So he had to come out and show his high part, as old folks will say. And also this meeting took place with Ukrainian President Zelensky. And in this discussion, it was intended to address the ongoing Russian-Ukrainian war and potential U.S.-Ukraine cooperation, but it escalated into a public dispute. And I just want to make mention that this was not supposed to be the plan when Zelensky touched down.
Right. Well, completely was not supposed to be the plan.
Not at all.
And before we get into it, there might be some of you all who are very fortunate to not stay up on this like we do.
Yeah.
But just to level set you guys, we're going to play a very small clip of what happened in the office, and yeah, we'll just go from there.
Happens to be right about
from the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save
Why is he looking at the camera?
Country.
Bruh.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly.
He's not speaking loudly?
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country
You've done
is
a lot
in
of
big
talking.
trouble.
This man has not said anything for a solid 45 seconds.
Yeah.
You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of
Mr.
us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war.
First of all, there's so much to unpacking this. I want you to know, Trump said, you got a good chance of coming out okay.
Not well, just okay. I mean,
not well, not better, not decent, not great. You got a good chance of coming out okay. Bro, where do we begin?
Okay. So my understanding, and I think most people's understanding as we walked into this moment, is that Vladimir Zelensky had flown over here to sign and talk about the minerals deal. This was my first red flag that this didn't look great, because it was very clear that Ukraine was fine with signing the minerals deal as long as there were U.S. guarantees of security. So the fact that he was fine, there's no way I would have gotten on a plane and flown over here unless I knew we were either honestly going to talk about the security guarantees. Yeah, but that seemed in flux, and so we started off there. I'll even take another step back. I am not shocked a conversation like this happened in the Oval Office, because what I'm for certain is that this is not the first time people have argued in the Oval Office.
Oh, for sure.
It's definitely not going to be the last.
For sure.
It's definitely not going to be the last of this administration if I was a betting person. FanDuel, hit us up, let us know what those odds are.
Yeah, we got to get some political bets out there on the books.
Right. So I wouldn't have flown out here, but he did. And it seemed to just what I can't really grab the context of is, did they talk before the cameras got there?
Yeah.
They definitely didn't talk afterwards, because it was my understanding. Trump said, grab your hat and your coat. Good day, sir. You get nothing.
I think, and this is my feeling towards it as we break this down. I believe that they dangled a carrot in front of Zelensky's face. And I believe that this was completely Trump, JD. I believe this was all their plan. I think that Zelensky came here with an idea, and I'm going to say that probably the only person I can say that joined him in this idea was probably Marco Rubio, because he sat back looking like, bro, this can't be happening right now.
Marco was sitting on that couch, bro, as if he wanted to be as small as Ant-Man. He's like, maybe if I sit, a perfect example. So whenever my parents started arguing or yelling at one of the other kids that wasn't me, and I just had to sit there and be quiet, it's getting wild. So it's like, I can't make a sound here, because if I make a sound, I'm next. That's how Marco looked.
Bro, he sat there like, bro, please don't ask them to say anything to me whatsoever, because he was sitting there like he looked like he was trying to hold back the meanest pack of gas during a church prayer. This man was like, bro, if I move, it's over. It's over. Bro, he sat there like he was just struggling, and I can see why, because I really think that this just went, the way that it went off the rails just seemed to be that this was a publicity stunt for Trump and Vance. I think Zelensky had all good intentions of what he came there to do, and I think that he got a little upset because he was like, all right, like he was leaning a little bit like he was ready to put that paw on Trump. That's what he should have did.
And look, I would have got it. I would have understood. And boy, we would have done an emergency episode of the pod.
Oh, bro. We would have jumped on it. It would have been a live episode.
Hold up. Hands thrown in the White House.
And he definitely ain't got no respect for JD, because when JD said what he said, when he hit him with that, please, that was the most dismissive, like, bro, don't start with me.
It's like, you definitely aren't in charge.
Bro, you ain't even, bro. You ain't even, half the time I come here, you ain't even been here, bro.
There was a point in all this. It was a look on President Zelensky's face where I felt like internally he was saying, where's Elon? Can I talk to him? Because he's obviously the one in charge here. But see, I don't think it was as much of a publicity stunt.
Okay. Well,
hear me out. This is my secondary theory on how this all played out.
Do I need to reach for my tinfoil hat?
No. don't think it's tinfoil hat. You know,
okay.
I think we're good right here.
Okay, all right.
What I think it was is, you know, I think this was already going to be a tense conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we already struggle to see JD Vance.
Yeah.
And usually if we see him, there aren't cameras. And if there are cameras, that's like him walking down a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're having him on display. And he sat there and said, oh, yeah.
It's my time.
I'm not going to throw away my shot.
What's that Eminem song? You only get one shot.
He
lost himself.
JD went into that Oval Office meeting thinking about the song from Hamilton that he was finally going to be in the room where it happened. Right. And he said, I'm about to go off. And he saw an inch. This is the definition of seeing an inch and taking a country mile.
Bruh, he took a mile, bro. Like a mean mile. First of all, him and Trump, collaboratively showed they tail.
But I don't think it's I think then what happened as JD was taking his shot, you know, Trump can't.
Oh yeah, Trump can't.
You're not going to outshine Trump. Yeah, so that's when he was like, oh, JD not said a whole lot. Well, I obviously, being the actual president, I have to say more. And then it became a pile-on. It just,
bro. This was insane, and I think that the way that this whole I'm gonna call it a spectacle. The whole way it played out was terrible for the situation that's already going on. Right. First of all, for JD, you know, to say, hey, have you even said thank you or once in this meeting? It's like, dude, like, come on now, like. Because he didn't say thank you while I got here. Now you're gonna act like I'm not grateful for all the things that the U.S. has done for Ukraine. You know, and that's why I think that please came from where Zelensky was like, bro, come on, bro. Like, man, if I tell you thank you, Manny, if you gave me $20 and I tell you thank you, Manny, and then the next time I see you, I say, hey man, I really appreciate that. Really helped me out a lot. Thank you. And then the third time, I don't say thank you. You say, "Oh, you ain't gonna say thank you." Like, bro, I done said thank. How many times I gotta? What you want me every time I walk in the White House? I gotta get down on bending knee and kiss the ring every single time.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Trump. Oh, you so great. Oh, yes, Mr. Trump. Get out of
it. What Zelensky should have said, I'll tell the president thank you, man, but I ain't telling you nothing.
Well, and to. Even before this summit, well, it's not even a summit. Before this meeting, there was already concerns coming out of Ukraine about signing this mineral deal.
Yeah.
Like the minerals are the heart and soul of your country.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, that's why we're fighting.
Yeah.
That's why everyone's fighting. We want the mineral reserves. And to doing the mineral deal with the U.S. is, I won't say necessarily mortgaging their future, but they're betting a lot on American stability.
Yeah.
To give a country that level of access to your resources. And I don't know the specifics of the deal.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a little bit wild that we are talking about a mineral deal before we're talking about peace.
Yeah. Yeah. That's backwards, way backwards.
Even our Treasury Secretary, our new Treasury Secretary said, hey, we can't really do a mineral deal until we know there's going to be peace. Because you can't really go mine for minerals while you got bombs flying over your head. I mean, exactly. You can.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can.
You can.
You just wherever you find the minerals, you're gonna be buried with them.
Right. The last time you saw the minerals, the last time you saw those minerals.
Last time you saw the minerals. But man, it's just been awkward to me how the whole Trump administration and just I call them the Trump administration allies, those that are just will do whatever the administration says needs to be done. You know, I look at like Lindsey Graham. You know, 2 weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about how he's so grateful for Ukraine and how they're fighting their butts off, and the heart of the Ukrainian people, and how he's so thankful that they have an ally that is not afraid to challenge someone that is a adversary of our government. And then you fast forward to this event happening, and they're bashing Ukraine. They're bashing Zelensky. I think there's been call for him to step down as the president. They called the man a dictator. And I'm sitting here like, bro, hold on. How, Sway? How is this man a dictator? First of all, I'm going to tell you, when I heard the way that they were talking to Zelensky, my very first thought was, I bet you don't talk to Putin like this.
Bet.
we seen how Putin give it up when we see how he play around when what was the man named Ben Carson went over there to talk to him, and how he was basically playing cat and mouse with him. Like, bro, Trump and the man ain't talking to Putin like that. But then this guy who is not in the wrong, and even in that, they painted this picture in the media as if Ukraine somehow is wrong
for wanting to live on their own land. Bro. Their land that has been internationally recognized for decades.
Yes. Decades. Like, even down to telling this man that he started the war. Like, how, Sway?
Like, I know we get those things every now and then that are the like Mandela effects.
Yeah.
My favorite Mandela effect is in T-Pain's song, All I Do Is Win, where they say everyone's hands go up and they stay there and they stay there. Now, I know T-Pain has come out and said, yeah, that's correct. It's not. And they say, yeah, it's not that.
Yeah.
No. T-Pain, I know what I heard. I know what I heard.
I heard they stay there.
But here, like, we're really talking as if we all weren't here 3 years ago when they were like, tanks on the other side of Ukraine. Tanks are lining up. Looks like Russia is getting ready to enter Ukraine.
Bruh,
like we all saw this. It's not like we missed it. It's not like, hey, y'all, this happened 3 years ago. It wasn't really news. No, we all saw this happen. What level of news do you get, Trump?
It almost makes me wonder, is this what it feels like
to be gaslit?
To be a part of MAGA? Because I'm like, he's feeding information that we saw ourselves. Like, we saw
in real time.
Major news outlet. It was on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, you name it, wherever. We all watch Ukraine be invaded by Russia. How in the world now are we saying that Ukraine started the war? And then you have people to say, Ukraine started the war. I'm like, are y'all serious right now? This is nuts, man. And I feel bad for Zelensky, because this man, I don't know much about him. We never sat down and shared a slice of pizza. Certainly haven't.
But Vlad,
if you want to come down
the pod, we here. We want to talk to you.
Look, because he already, they got on him about how he don't wear suits and nothing like that. So he already a chill dude. So if we'll get a large pizza and a 6-pack, bro, we can sit down and you can come on the pod, and we won't do you like Trump.
Nah, not at all.
We gonna do you. We gonna let you get off what you got to say. Now, if you say something crazy, we own you. We gonna rake them coals up under you.
But we all saw it happen.
We all saw it happen. So, and it makes sense, like Zelensky says, like, Trump's caught in this misinformation bubble, and he's 100% right, because it's like, where did you get this information? And I almost feel like because it's not playing out as smoothly or as quickly as Trump declared it would be.
You mean the 24 hours?
Oh yeah.
The 24 hours. Here we are.
We've done 24 hours 35 times now, and it hasn't happened. And I think that he's getting to a point where he's getting desperate a little bit, and he's throwing his big jabs and his haymakers, and it's just unfortunate to see, because I truly believe that Zelensky is fighting for his people. He's fighting for what belongs to his people, which is independence. He didn't start this, he didn't get into this, and really, quite frankly, if you want to be honest, what he's asking for and what he's looking for and what he expects to happen is what was guaranteed to his people.
Yeah.
A lot of our listeners may not be familiar, but I was talking to Manny in pre-production. A lot of people are not familiar, and this is a very strange thing that I would love to hear Marco Rubio's approach to this, because he actually, I was watching a video where he was talking about the Budapest memorandum.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this in great detail. So it's kind of crazy in full circle, because this was a much younger Marco Rubio in this video clip that I was looking at. But he was talking about the details of the Budapest memorandum. That was an agreement signed in December of 1994 by Ukraine, the US, Russia, and the United Kingdom. And in that, for those of you who don't know, in this memorandum, once the things had collapsed with Russia, Ukraine had a nuclear arsenal, and at the time in 1994, they had the third largest nuclear arsenal in the world.
US, the USSR, and Ukraine.
And Ukraine, bam. And I believe this agreement came at the fall of the USSR, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So
they had the third largest, and obviously you do not want that. You'll want the problems. So Russia, the US, and the UK pledged to respect Ukraine's sovereignty, their territorial integrity, and their independence in exchange that they gave up this arsenal that they had. And they promised that they would not use any force or threats against Ukraine, and that none of these things that would take place where it would basically be a threat to the people of Ukraine. But of course, like all things, there's a violation in effect.
Vladimir Putin said, I don't remember signing that.
Now, I don't know nothing about.
I am unfamiliar with the said act. But that's if for our listeners, if you watch the entire clip, the entire 2 hour, I believe it was about 2 hours.
Yeah.
JD asks us, like, you're not even trying to negotiate a peace deal with Russia. And Zelensky's like, why would I? Why would I? They violated our deal. That's why I'm coming to you guys, for you guys to do what you said you were going to do.
Bingo. And you've seen in recent days that you've seen the UK kind of ramp up their support for Ukraine.
Yeah.
But it's wild because Russia violated in 2014. They violated when they invaded Ukraine in 2021.
No. Sorry, 3 years ago. Whatever, Matt, 2022. Yeah, That's
you read
about
right. You read the Bible. So these are violations of an agreement that was made amongst these nations.
Right.
And what Zelensky's asking the U.S. to do, he gets so much heat about what he's asking the U.S. to do. But what he's asking is what they agreed on in the first place. Right. Now, whether you want to fast forward from 1994 to 2025 and say you agree, that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is there was an agreement made, and they gave up something that they will not get back in return for your security, your protection that you promised that you would give them, and that Russia promised that they would never cross this line. They've crossed it now twice. Now you're saying that the man got to make a peace deal? If you violate me, what other peace deal do I need to make other than you give me back in full what you took from me?
I saw a strange clip. I won't say strange. I saw a clip of someone drawing the United States and essentially what the U.S. would have to give up if the U.S. was in if U.S. was in Ukraine's situation, and Russia had taken comparable amounts of population. You're talking about the entire Western seaboard, so Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and I feel like there's one more state right around there. Not Utah.
In Arizona?
No, it wasn't Arizona. I forget what the last state. It was one of those smaller. God, I'll figure it out later. But essentially, giving up the entire western seaboard, we would give that up to Russia. That's what we're asking Ukraine to do, which is wild.
Very wild.
Because we're supposed to be respecting borders and all. So. And the other thing that I don't want us to glaze over is his outfit. So if you watch in the entire clip, there's a question asked from the peanut gallery, and in the peanut gallery, there's one specific male individual who asks, he's like, "Do you own any suits? Like, why do you come dressed like that?"
Yeah, bro, that pissed me off.
Well, first off, he's dressed like that because his country is at war. And he's trying to remind everyone, hey, I'm not here just to do general business.
I'm at war.
I'm at war. Yeah. There's stuff happening. Like, I'm dressing like this to remind you all of that. Well, I found out that particular peanut in the peanut gallery was Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. Why are you here?
Yeah, bro.
Why are you here? Go away.
Bro.
That
comment boiled me over so bad, bro, because y'all don't say this when Elon come in there dressed like RoboCop.
Sweet.
That man stood in front of a cabinet of confirmed individuals on a cabinet.
I was like, hold on, get them right.
I had to get it right. It looked like he just finished shopping at Target at night. And he won't shopping for anything that was good. He looked suspicious. And you don't question how he come looking in the White House. This man come not too far off from what Elon looked, minus a hat and a shirt.
Elon was in there
stupid.
With a hat, a trench coat, a Tech Bro t-shirt, and some jeans.
Bruh. And I don't hear y'all questioning him, asking him about what he got going on, and he arguably ain't really doing much of nothing compared to what this man Zelensky is trying to do for an entire country. Like, bro, stuff like that is just so disrespectful, man, and shouldn't have been warranted. But when you open that door, when Trump and JD opened that door, and basically blatantly, in my opinion, disrespected this man and tried to belittle him in front of the American people. You have stuff like that happening,
right.
And that's just wrong, man. At the end of the day, and like you said, he's sending a message that he's not here on, he ain't here to come in and enjoy a nice fine dine steak in DC. He's here trying to legit help his people.
Do some stuff.
You don't look like that, Trump, because you ain't doing nothing. This man is
Elon's doing all the work. If we're going to be honest, Elon and the courts are doing the heavy lifting of this administration right now.
That man ain't doing nothing but working a Sharpie, bro. Leave that man alone and don't disrespect that man like that. But I want our listeners to understand. Go back and look. If all of you, because there are a lot of people who think that, we shouldn't be doing nothing for Ukraine and they should just do this. Go back and look at that Budapest memorandum and understand that what this man is asking for is everything that was promised to his people. Now, he's already given up the nuclear arsenal. Again, like I said, at the time, it was the third largest in the world. Now you want him to give up his natural resources.
Right.
So if I'm already asking for help, the one thing that I have that can give me any stability, why do you want to take half of that away from me? And again, to what you said, Manny, this is all what this war really is about.
Yeah.
Putin wants control of it. Trump low-key is going behind and he's trying to get control of it. But then here's my thing, and I guess this is the long shot that Trump's trying to take. Well, if I get a hold of the minerals and the U.S. is in there, then Russia's not going to attack us because the U.S. is in there.
Right. Well, and that was the thinking, again, the Treasury Secretary, Bessent, his exact quote is President Trump's idea for this economic arrangement was to further intertwine American and Ukrainian people and to show the Russian leadership that there was no daylight. And that sounds completely rational. If we had a completely rational administration.
And that's the thing, like, the plan makes sense. Like that's very rational. That makes a lot of sense. That gives that pathway and ultimately, like he said in the quote, No light of day. None of that whatsoever. But the way that Trump's going about that doesn't look achievable, because Zelensky, I could see him being a man to just die on the sword before he sell his whole country out.
Right.
He'll die on the sword if he have to.
And so you see all the talking heads of the administration. And before I go into this, Jeezy, I will be incredibly happy for the day where we can sit here on the pod and we can argue as a Democrat and a Republican regarding the issues.
Yep.
But come on now. But anyways.
We'll get there one day.
We'll get there one day, hopefully.
What Martin Luther King say? I had a dream that one day a Democrat and a Republican could pod together about actual issues.
But all the talking heads of the administration is like, oh, he tried to relitigate this in front of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And sure. Okay. Let's just say for a second that he was trying to do that. He wasn't, but he was, no, let's not do that. He wasn't. Like,
he won't.
Literally.
He was not, bro.
JD, I think they were expecting him to be a little bit more coy, more kind of sit back, like, smile for the cameras, and then we can really talk about the issue. Zelensky is like, no, I'm going to stand on business right now. Like, if you want to talk about these details and do all this, then let's go ahead and have a conversation about it.
Yep.
And so that's where it got relitigated. So you guys asked for this to be relitigated in front of everybody. You all did this.
Well, if you remember when they met last week when they met with God, I can't think of what the president's name, but he was trying to, like, Trump was trying to say, oh, we got to do this on the deal because they're getting their money back and they're loaning Ukraine this, and he had to stop him like, whoa. We're giving actual like money, and like there's something different than what the U.S. is doing. And then as soon as he did that, Trump made a face like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's essentially like they want people just to kind of sit and hush and let us say what we want to say. And to your point, when they started talking, Zelensky's like, no, that
if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk.
Yeah, let's be real about it.
Now, the one interesting thing that, and I think the positive thing out of all of this, because I am hopeful that smarter heads will prevail, is the UK and Europe are now coming to the table a little bit harder, which is something that I think everyone who's wanted to see. Like, if you look at a hallmark of Trump in this term and the previous one, is he wants these European countries doing more for themselves. And I can't say that he's wrong on that note.
Yeah.
And this might be the trigger moment that finally has, I think a lot of people are saying this is a trigger moment to now bring Europe to the table, more involved, because obviously Russia isn't directly going to come over here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Facts.
Russia knows they don't want these problems.
Your best luck is try to cross the Bering Strait.
The U.S. in terms of international actors that could make it a problem for us is China and Australia. And why I say Australia, because everything in Australia is made to kill you. So they could they release a couple of these kangaroos in Central Park. we might be in a problem.
Bulletproof covered kangaroos,
bro. What we gonna do?
With hand-to-hand combat,
right? Can't fight a kangaroo. But I forgot where I was going with that point. But I said, dang it, I was getting that joke off about the kangaroos.
Yeah, the kangaroos got you, bro.
But again, like Russia, what are you doing? Oh, that's where I was going. Europe. Russia is a way larger threat to you all than he will be to the U.S. So you guys need to be more involved. And I think it is starting to finally click.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think that's the positive of what's going on right now.
But now, is it a positive? So
I was going to say that.
Because the U.S. had a lot of the U.S.'s strength is not only in our military and our finances, but also our political power that we've had to be able to influence as much as we have in all these other countries. If the U.S. is now ceding that position, who's stepping into it? Is it going to be a separation of powers and now everyone's on its own? What does a new free world look like without the U.S. kind of leading it?
Yep. And see, that's what I feel is ultimately when I look at how things are shaping up, to me, I feel like that must be the motive. I don't see any other direction because it seems like all of those avenues where we're bruising those relations, where we're kind of straining those ties. You know, I think ultimately, just like when you with the U.S., I mean, with Europe getting more involved and giving more, who's to say that Trump wants this mineral deal, but the way that he's going about it, and the severing of the relationship between the U.S. and the Ukraine, and then Europe starts to invest more. Ukraine relies on them more. Who's to say that there's not a deal that goes with Europe and Ukraine on those minerals? And now we've lost out on everything.
Well, that, and then I think if you just also look long term, the U.S. is extremely strong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we also look stronger because we also have one of the largest alliances being at NATO. And even as of today, there were calls for the U.S. to leave both NATO and the United Nations. And that is crazy isolationist behavior from a country that doesn't have the resources to completely self-sustain.
Yeah.
So I don't get this whole America first is now very, very quickly shifting from hey, we're just putting America first in our dealings to being very isolationalist, which becomes super dangerous.
Very dangerous.
We've seen this before.
Yes, we have.
Those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. And here we're going.
Bro, this is, I believe that things have kind of cooled down because it looks like what I might have seen today that, the White House and Ukraine maybe want to try to come back together and talk. I know that Zelensky went on.
Man, so you're telling me that somebody after that meeting ran through Snickers had a great opportunity to run a campaign.
Oh, bro.
It was a missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity, bro.
Mr. Trump, Mr. Vance, y'all aren't the same when you're hungry. Here, have a Snickers.
Have a Snickers. Because now they want to talk again. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm Zelensky, I'm like, look, I just came there, bro.
Y'all got to come to me.
Y'all going to have to either come to me. But man, my mind is just racing. This is even a crazier thing. You tell the man that he needs to be making peace with Russia, but then when you talk to Russia about peace negotiations, you left them outside the room.
You can't even get into the club.
Can't even get in. Like, make it like, bruh, I am so confused on how Trump and his administration and our approach to this situation makes any sense at this point, because it sounds like we're putting our shoes on not just the wrong foot. It sounds like we're putting our shoes on backwards.
Bro, I don't, like we've said for a while, I don't know what the plan is here.
I don't.
We are just moving around and
is this
doing
what
things.
Concepts of plans look like? Like, is this what this looks like? I mean, because we all, bro, think about it. Because we always know what the end goal is, but it's the in between. We got our two pieces of bread, but I don't know what meat and what toppings.
What kind of sandwich is this?
What did you order again? I just grabbed the bread and I'm confused. That's what I feel like we're doing. We making wish sandwiches.
Right. We
just wishing that this thing will work out for the betterment of the American people.
I'm going to say it. We could have had John Kasich as president, but y'all wanted to play. Y'all wanted to play.
And play we shall.
And play we shall. And then the other note I have on all this is,
where is he now?
He's a commentator now. Yeah. So shout out to John Kasich, man.
Hey, if you ever want to come on the pod and talk about that whole time, hey, we can go through the quantum realm and we can just look at we can do a what if, Marvel, what if you had won the presidency? What would it look like had you became the nominee and ultimately went on to win president?
Man, but I'm concerned because once again, it's March.
Yeah.
I didn't expect chaos like this. At least until 2026, 27. Well, I expected this stuff to start, crazy stuff to start kind of popping off right as we're starting to get into the election cycle. So from my standpoint, we're 10 months ahead of schedule on this level of craziness.
That is scary because in my tinfoil hat community, I'm reaching out to y'all.
Here we go.
I don't necessarily have a topic, but I just want to get y'all wheels turning. But if we move in this fast in this short amount of time, then how close is the collision? How far away are we to something that is
can't stop?
That we can't stop? That brick wall, we see it coming, and it's like we gonna hit it. And depending on how bad it's gonna be, is how fast we're going. And right now, we going way too fast for that wall to be coming toward us.
Look, I remember my first car accident that I was ever in. I was at Raleigh, North Carolina. I was driving my 92 Buick, all steel body. Going down Western Boulevard, right as it changes into MLK, there's a hill. And I'm doing the speed limit, so I go down the hill. I'm like, okay, steel body, this we moving pretty fast. Let me tap on the brake, the brakes. Oh, I ain't got no brakes.
Oh no, bro!
I thought I was like, cool. I'm just gonna sail through the light, and we're just gonna coast. I got to go uphill, so I'm gonna slow up some. I look up cars, so I look and see a tree. I was like, I got to put it into the tree because there was a small little Honda in front of me. I was like, yep.
Oh yeah, you about to run straight through that mud with a steel Buick. Whew.
Right into the tree. I hit there. I look around. I'm like, okay, I'm good. But that's kind of how I feel. Like, are the brakes cut? Are we choosing not to use the brakes?
Is there a handbrake?
It's a handbrake. What? Bro, like Jacob 5'2" says.
Hold on, Manny. Before you say Jacob 5'2", Manny, was there a handbrake in the Buick?
Bro, no, I tried it. I did. It was not a handbrake. Okay. It was the pedal right next to it.
Okay.
Bro, I remember doing.
Because if you ran into a tree and then you try to do the handbrake or any other method, bro, that's wild.
Bro, I did the double feet on the emergency brake. Nothing.
Bro, you've never told me this story, bro.
If next time you're here, I'm going to take you by that tree. You can. It's been 15 years. You can still see the dent in that tree.
Bro, that's wild. That's wild, bro.
Bro, hit that tree hard. But again, like Jacob 5'2", we are all gas, no brakes.
Bro.
But why? I'm not trying to be all gas, no brakes.
We don't have to be.
We don't have to be.
And I want our listeners, I swear I feel like we have to say this. We are not a anti-Trump podcast. But this man is driving us too fast.
I want to get off.
I want to get off this ride, bro. It's moving way too fast, man. We're doing way too much, way too fast. And there's an end goal, but the faster we go, it just seems like the end goal is we're going to miss the exit. We're going too fast to get off this exit that we ultimately are trying to go to. And we got to slow down. I think that this whole approach to this this Ukraine situation is just terrible. And on the global stage, it's not obviously been received well how the U.S. has responded to Zelensky. And you've seen the positive side is that Europe has decided to step up. I believe that I believe it was the U.K. pledged $2 billion, I believe it was.
Well, on top of that, there is also now a proposal floating around between France and the U.K. to at least do a peace or a pause in the fighting that would be in the air and at sea. So it'd only be a land thing, but like it's only hand-to-hand combat, at least for a little bit. So peacekeepers could be out there. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But one of the things that are also coming out, European countries it's being suggested that European countries should raise their defense spending between 3 to 3.5% of their GDP in response to the U.S. Shifting its priorities.
Yeah, I think they're starting to realize it's time to. What is this? What does it look like without having the U.S. as one of our main players?
But the only thing I see when I look at that number, I was like, hold up. Y'all countries weren't already spending at least 3% of your defense. Like how much, again, this is where Trump is a broken clock.
Yeah.
Like how
he's
much,
right. He's right.
How much are y'all actually paying to defend yourselves? Like, are we really your security?
Yeah, like, I agree. In that area, I agree with him 1,000%. They do need to spend more, and there is this heavy reliance on the U.S. That shouldn't be
police.
There.
As the world police.
Yeah, we're not the world police, but we shouldn't be trying to make enemies out of everybody or just act like we don't have relations. Like those things benefit us greatly. It's not just something that we just say, oh, we have all these allies. It's beneficial for us in times of need, in times of crisis. Intelligence. There's a bunch of things that come with having our foot in a lot of different areas, but maybe not a complete both of our feet in these things, in these European nations being able to hold their own a little bit more defensively. But the approach to it is just, I don't see how it benefits us and doesn't open the gate for another nation to come
absolutely.
in and China, take that place. China licking their lips, man.
And quietly, Saudi Arabia is probably sitting there do the
same. Definitely Saudi.
But it's almost like the U.S. forgets. Like, a lot of countries call us for help. And we don't really call out to other countries. But when we do, and I don't think we have since September 11th, is countries came. What happens if we get ourselves into a pickle with China, with Ukraine? What happens?
That's not going to work out well for us, man. And this is the wild part about this whole interaction is that Russia came out and basically like praised Trump for how he's like scolded Europe, how he's approached the Ukraine thing. Like, this is what Russia wants. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, this can't happen, man. This is even if this was going to happen behind closed doors, I'm cool with it. You can't put this out on the mainstream media in public and have the world stage see this.
As one of my cousins or aunts would say, you out here doing this in mixed company, man. You like
mixed company.
Mixed company. Like, what y'all doing?
Bro,
it's different when it's just us.
Bro.
You just out here mixed company, just acting wild.
Showing your tail.
But I want to be clear. I think this is all JD Vance's fault. This didn't have to. JD got out there and wanted to show his behind because he wanted to feel like he was in power, and this is why this happened. And that's why he ain't getting no peace. He apparently is in Vermont on a ski retreat, and he
ain't getting no peace.
No peace. No peace.
They outside his hotel. They outside on the street. Shame.
Bro, we don't want you here. Get out.
Bro, they killing him, bro. His wife like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I signed up for.
I thought you were going to be seen and not heard.
Not heard. You got up there and showed your tail and look at us. Ain't nobody bothered JD. For all I know, JD could have been picking up a 12-pack at the neighborhood Walmart, and I would have never known. Bro. But now you want to get on the big stage and show your tail? No peace for you too.
Yep.
Bro. So I just don't know what this. I don't know what this is going to look like going forward.
I think we're going to learn a lot over the next week. I mean, because you had the Europe summit, so stuff is still rolling in from the decisions that were there. It looks like Europe is coming to the table, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna come support our allies." Yeah, and we'll see how it goes.
But if I'm Zelensky, if I'm getting that support, that mineral deal off the table, bro. until I see how Europe, if Europe's gonna give it up like this, and they're gonna, I believe it. One of the things, like I was saying before, they announced a $2 billion deal to fund air defense missiles for Ukraine. That's heavy. That's major. If some of these things start turning the tide, and we know that they're going through a brutal winter right now, once they come out on the other side of this, what is this war going to look like? And then with some of the resources they've been able to have being provided by Europe, they may be in a good position come spring.
As I reach for the time stone from Marvel, here's what I predict that could happen.
Okay.
I could very much see a new alliance formed, non-NATO, so it won't be NATO, it'll be something else that includes Europe and Ukraine. And all of the European countries, it will get together in some type of NATO-esque, and I think this is after a peace. After a peace deal, you're going to see Europe realign in some type of NATO-esque alliance. And you know who's going to end up running that? It's going to be Zelensky.
Oh, Brad.
Being the only world leader of that group that's had to defend his country, Zelensky will rise up as the leader of that new organization. And then Trump has now, for all we know, this meeting in the Oval Office became Zelensky's origin story,
bruh,
against Trump.
Bruh, if you end up being right,
boy.
The pod up from there, bro. Boys are predicting global outcomes.
Bro, I'm just saying.
That would be wild, but I can see it. I can very much see it.
I just need you to remind me that I did this because I'm going to go back and watch this episode, especially if I'm right, and I'm going to go spend $100 on lottery tickets.
Bro, facts.
And,
look,
and
we
truly,
look at the time step of exactly when you said it. Like, all right, them the numbers right there. That's it.
And then I'm just give me 6 number combinations I can make from this time point.
Yep.
But that's what I see playing out. Like we're just opening the door too wide in a position that we've been way too comfortable in.
Yeah.
And hey, we'll see how it flows.
I believe that at the end of this, in the position that we're in, if these things do not work out, because I've said it in previous episodes, I think Trump's making a lot of big gambles on a lot of things. And if they come out and they work, he's gonna go down as a GOAT. If he pulls off some of these things that he's trying to do. But if they all fail, which is very possible, the way that this country will look in the next 3.5 years is going to be crazy. Because what we're talking about is just globally. We could spend another hour domestically about how it's getting sticky.
We still ain't got no budget. The economy is starting to turn. Unemployment numbers are up. GDP is starting to go down. All jobs across all the administration. China and Russia are actively trying to recruit people who were laid off from the federal government.
And you got China and Russia saying they should strengthen their coordination with international affairs. So they already like, hey, how we moving in the streets? How we moving together? Like, bruh, I don't know. It's getting sticky. But yeah, man. Man, I don't know. And for our listeners, if you have not noticed, we haven't given you a pickle of the week in quite some time. And I believe it's maybe been the past 2 or 3 episodes. And the reason being is because the pickle from 3 weeks ago is still the pickle today. And that's us. And not the pod. Us is in the U.S.
U.S.
And until that changes, ain't no need to bring another pickle.
Ain't no need. Ain't no need. Ain't no need to try to outpickle us,
man. So yeah, that's our coverage on that tension that happened in the Oval Office, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if Zelensky will come back. I think it's weird that they did that and then said they want to talk again, because that's not typically Trump's MO. But I think he kind of saw that this maybe wasn't received as well as they thought it would, and maybe that has something to do with it. I got a question for you, man. When do the numbers come out as far as like a approval rating and?
Oh, they should. Well, so we're just hitting March. I would guess we would probably see something in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I was thinking they should be pretty soon because I'm interested to see what those numbers look like, man.
Look, and for everyone listening, we are not far away from a couple of special elections that if they, while not numerically right now, not looking like any of these 3 seats were flip, but if you look, man, I don't know what to expect anymore. Common rules don't appear to be applying like they used to. Nope. So who knows what we're actually going to see? But that's something I'm going to start turning my head towards that.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, that's our coverage of the Oval Office altercation. So what we'll do now is, as we're at the end of our episode, we will go into our spotlights of the week. So what you got, my brother, that you looking out for this week coming up?
Man, how about you go first?
Okay. Well, I will say got a couple of things, nothing too major. But there are Carolinas is on fire.
Man.
The Carolinas are on fire. For those of you that don't know and listen to the pod, we are residents of the Carolinas, North Carolina to be exact. And there were brush fires in the Carolinas that have resulted in authorities ordering evacuations for over 1,200 acres. So it's kind of odd because we've just come off of a lot of rain, a lot of ice, a lot of, but yeah, we're dealing with that. And Manny brought this up earlier that, of course, President Elon Musk has appeared to back the U.S. withdrawing from NATO and the UN. So we know that 9 times out of 10, if Elon Musk backs something pertaining to the U.S.,
we're about to do it.
Has a very likely chance of happening. And last thing I'll just point out is that the Pentagon is sending about 3,000 more active duty troops to the U.S. Mexico border. So I want to say this, and I'll turn it over to you, Manny. I forgot to share this with you, but I'll share this with you now. This past week, I had an opportunity and really ended up meeting someone that is had some dealings with ICE, and Tom Holman and the crew had come his way.
No,
yeah. So his name is Will. Shout out to Will, Hispanic guy that I met. Really great guy. He's actually his wife is 6 months pregnant, and he has a 10-year-old. He has a 10-year-old daughter that he takes care of as well. But he was doing some work, and in him doing some work, he got pulled up on by ICE, and they had a folder of them. And the crazy thing in the process of it, they said, "How'd you get here?" And he said, "Well, I came to the U.S. when I was 7. I don't know how that process went. I don't know if I came here." Now he's 33. So he was like, wow. I don't know. Like, I don't know
anything else.
Yeah. Like, I know that we lived here, but I don't know how we came here. Like, I got a social security number and blah, 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 blah. So basically they shipped this man where he spent 2 months in detention center, in an ICE deportation detention center in Georgia. And he talked to me about his experience, the type of people that there was Venezuelans, there were, Mexicans, it was some of everybody. But long story short, he's waiting. They didn't deport him. He's back home, but he's waiting to see if he will potentially be deported.
Deported to a country he hasn't been as an adult.
I asked him, I said, "Do you know anybody in Mexico?" Which is where he's from. He says, "I have no idea." I think he said on the paperwork before they released him, they had to tell him, like, "Okay, if we deport you back to Mexico, where in Mexico?" And he's like, "I can't tell you because I came here when I was 7. And for all I know," he says, "all of my family that was still over there, they're dead. So I can't tell you where to go." And the one thing in this conversation that me and him sat and had that he stated, and it has been my sentiment about this whole thing, is that and he said it, and his words were, all of us are not bad people, but everybody, they paint it as if everybody's bad. And he was like, I don't know if the process of how I got over here, but since I've been over here as an adult, I've done the things that I know of that I'm supposed to do. And now I'm potentially going to be deported to a country that I don't know nothing about, don't have anywhere to go, don't know anybody that's over there, and leave behind my wife, my 10-year-old daughter, and at the time I would assume a newborn baby, a newborn son. So just hearing his experience from a first-hand perspective of somebody actually dealing with this. And one of the questions I asked him was, what do you think is the percentage of people who actually, need to be deported versus the ones that maybe just need an avenue?
They need a process.
They need a process that's speedy to get them where they need to be. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sure it's a very low percentage," which I thought the same thing too. But when the light is shined on everybody, unfortunately, is more of a gathering of everybody, and we'll sort through it then, rather than having a more sustainable process to make sure that people that are actually law-abiding citizens that pay their taxes, that do the right thing, are able to stay here and not be caught up in this system. So I just wanted to share that with you, man, and share that with the pod, that I met someone that was in that situation, in that boat, and the only word I will say out of that is that we should exercise compassion. That's all I'm gonna say. We should share and exercise compassion, because some of these people are just like us. All of them aren't smuggling fentanyl. All of them aren't rapists and murderers. There's some that are living family, fruitful lives just like everybody else, trying to obtain the American dream. They just came here a different way than some of us did. So compassion would be the key. So that's my spotlights for the week, man.
Damn, I should have gone first. Hey, that
I tried to throw it your way, man.
Yeah, you did. You passed me. All right. Well, I can't really. All right, so I'll just hit my spotlights.
Man.
So we passed a budget resolution was passed in the House, and it's got to go over to the Senate. We'll see what happens for them to be able to leverage the proper parliamentary procedures to be able to make this go in, instead of like doing a standard budget. The Senate has to approve it verbatim. So we'll see as debate on that begins. The next piece, Saturday, our good friend Andrew Cuomo decided that he wants to be mayor of New York City and is declared for that race. So
hey, he back in the game, baby.
He's like, I'm back. I'm back.
Can't get rid of a real player.
He walks into that mayor race the same way Roy Williams walked into that locker room on that GIF, like, hey, I'm here. And then on a little bit more of a somber note, former U.S. Representative Mia Love, she is the first Black woman that's a Republican that has been elected to Congress. She's been battling brain cancer since 2002, and a report came out recently that it's no longer responding to the cure, the treatments. GBM is what she has, is only a 10% chance of survival after the first 5 years. So definitely hearts and prayers going out to her. I was very fortunate to meet Representative Love. And actually, if you go look on it's funny, as I was cleaning up some of my original literature that I have when I ran for office, there's actually a picture of me. I used a picture of me and her. I remember meeting her in 2015 when I was in DC, and she took time. And I think that's important. Yeah. As busy as people in Congress are, she took time. We had about 10, 15, 20-minute conversation in a hallway while I was at a event up there. And she just kind of took that time and spoke with me. And, in that effort, sending that elevator back down. Yeah. and that really appreciative of me, really appreciative from my standpoint. So my hearts and prayers go out to her and her family as she battles this. I know who Jehovah Rapha is. So definitely prayers to her and her family, and praying for comfort and that God's will be done in that situation.
Definitely that our thoughts and prayers, and most importantly, our love for you. And the work that you've done, and not just the work that you've done, but the way you've gone about doing that work will definitely not go unnoticed. So fight the good fight, sister.
Yes. And man, hopefully we'll get through a week without there being some type of air emergency. So,
I mean, Jesus.
Can we get a week? I'm
supposed to be going to family reunion up in New York, bro, and during the summer, man. I might have to go
catch that Amtrak.
How did in Home Alone? How old homie mama get home with the band on the back of their, what was it, a U-Haul? Yep. Bro, I might have to travel there, bro. I might have to. I got to stay up off these runways, bro, because it's getting crazy, man. It's like every single week, man. But yeah, hopefully we will.
So yeah, man, that's what I got. And a special thanks to everyone who listened to and talked about and paid attention to our episode last week. We appreciate the love, y'all. Thank you all so much. Continue to like, follow, share. Yes. If you got any ideas or things you want us to talk about, reach out, let us know. We're still only on Twitter. Only on Twitter. Oh, and YouTube. Yep. And if you want to catch our episodes moving forward, we're also going to be on YouTube. We're going to do live premieres of all of our episodes, 6:30 on release date. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can catch the live release 6:30 on YouTube as well. So
Hey man, that's what's up, man. And like Benny said, we're nothing without our followers, our listeners, and we appreciate everything you do, sticking in with the boys, because this ride gets a little bumpy. So it's good that you come in, even though it can be a lot. We hopefully give you the content in a way that gives you a little bit of laughter, enjoy the push on to the next week, and hopefully we're all still together at that point. So with that being said, that is the end of our episode. We are so thankful that you tuned in. Catch us at the next episode. Man, you got anything? All hearts and minds clear, brother?
All hearts and minds are clear.
Well, as we always say here at the pod, if don't nobody love you, then guess what? The boys here at the pod.
The boys here love you.
We love you. We love you. Take care. Have a good week, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.